Everyone. I want to start this journey with you guys now, and I'm really excited to show you the things that I'm working on here in the beginning with Flirtation. So now he's had a little bit of time outside and just getting used to this place and seeing the arena, seeing the outdoor, being in the stable, and a bit of hand walk in the forest. I was thinking, how should I do this with sharing it with you guys, and what do I find important here in the beginning, and how do I share it with you? And what I would like to start with here is actually inspired by a dinner I had the other night with my dad, where he asked me if I'm riding him, and I said, no, I'm not riding him, even though he is already started. But since my dream with this horse is to be able to ride him my way and ride him tackless and these kind of things, then I need to start from the very beginning, because you don't want to be riding a horse without a bridle or halter, and there is some stuff that they are insecure about from the past. So you really want to be able to rely on everything that the horse has learned, that is something that you know is safe, right? So, okay, we're starting with the halter. And what I said to my dad was, yeah, I'm starting with the halter and teaching him to be caught or to come in. And he said, well, I saw that you already had the halter on. So he already knows that. And I said, I actually didn't say much there because I didn't want to be the person who only talks about horses at family gatherings. And then a lot of people are probably thinking, you are that person. But I tried to stay off that topic, even though it's difficult sometimes. So yeah, but that made me think, like, what might be really important for me to say in this is the difference between doing to a horse and actually teaching a horse. The key word in this for me is the word softness. So, and listen, not everything that I say right now is the truth. It's just me sharing what I think and how I feel when I'm training, all right? If you think about it, when you put the halter on your horse, is your horse standing with the head up high? Is your horse not blinking and getting a little bit stiff here in the jaw and in the muscle? What I see there is a horse that's actually already building some kind of tension. I would like for everything that I do with my horse, as far as possible, I would like for my horse to feel soft in what they do, okay? And what I mean by soft is I would like to see that they can blink, and not just a fast blink or that they don't blink at all. I would like for them to be able to have a soft blink when I'm doing things. I would like to see that they are able to have a lick and chew or just be a bit relaxed here around the muscle. And that I can hear their breathing. I don't feel like my horse is holding on themselves, because that's the opposite of softness. So softness to me is that I can feel that they are able to live in this moment. They are able to feel good in this moment. And when you can see certain indicators on their face, it translates into their body. So if there is softness going on here, then the muscles will also be soft. The body will move softly. Whereas if you have a horse with the head high, and the eyes, they get these wrinkles above their eyes, and they are not blinking, it wouldn't take much for them to get a spook, or they carry on with this tension. So a lot of times what I have seen is that a horse that struggles in the canter, for example, it can be completely fine in walk, in trot, and with other things, but once you get into canter, they have some build-up tension there, and they might struggle getting the right canter, or maybe if you let go of the reins, the horse will run off or buck or something like this. What I find is that it often starts somewhere else, and it can be all the way back to feeling uncomfortable when you bring your horse in. So when you put the halter on or you put the lead rope on, because the horse doesn't really understand it. And that can be a lot of reasons why. It can be because of when they were foals and we stand there, two people to catch them and hold them, and they might be bucking a little bit and you try to get the halter on. So the horse really fast learns to be stuck, okay, when it's with us. It's getting caught, okay. That's not something we want to make our horses feel like. Okay, we're trying to work the opposite way so that they feel free, okay? And they feel soft and happy. It can also be that we have to sometimes get our hands in and catch them, and then we get the halter on, and then we go do our thing, and maybe our horse is not completely fine with doing this thing, for example, riding. Maybe they know that when they see you with the halter, they are already expecting something to happen that they are not completely okay with. I myself started doing yoga last year. No, it was this year, the beginning of this year. I started joining a yoga team, and that was really, really tough. And that really made me think about what we do with horses. And it all comes back to this thing with doing to the horse or teaching the horse, okay? So you can make a horse do a lot of things, and you can do a lot of things to the horse without them actually being completely okay. But we can read it as if they are okay because they're standing still, or they are kind of surviving it, they are dealing with what we're doing, but they're actually not okay, all right? So what's the difference between teaching a horse and doing to the horse? And I was in yoga class and being very triggered, even though no one did anything to me, but because it was really difficult. So I was thinking that my yoga teacher, she was super nice, and she would guide, and she would come once in a while to touch you, but not to push you into a position, but just a gentle touch to say, focus on this area here, feel this area right here, what's going on, and try to focus on that while you do the position, or what we can call it. And I was thinking, imagine if someone came and actually put you in this position, like let's say a split. Is it called a split in English? I don't know. Sprigat. Where you spread your legs. I'm not going to show it because I can't do it at all. But I was thinking, imagine if that was my goal. I wanted to, that was like the thing I was supposed to do, is to learn how to get my legs all the way out here. And my yoga teacher would come and say, oh, I'm going to show you, I'm going to help you. And she would push down on me as I tried to get me further into this stretch. Now, I would feel really uncomfortable. Me, myself, I would get really angry at this lady because I can't do that. But she would say, yeah, it's all good. Just a little bit more. And slowly you would start to really tense up against this. So the outcome of this would be actually getting more and more tense and less able to do this thing. And maybe at some point we could do it, I don't know, maybe it's possible, but I think it wouldn't be in a good way. I think it would hurt quite a lot at least, and I would overcompensate other places because I didn't learn how to do it. It was just done to me. Now, if we would have the other yoga instructor, like the one that I have now, is that she would show me what to focus on and help me relax into it so that my muscles could actually let go, and I would become more and more smooth. I would be building on something good so that at some point I would be able to do it. I'm not there yet. But that at some point I would be able to do this thing. So then I myself learned how to do it by through guidance, but by myself I could do it, and I knew what was going on because it was a safe space. I knew how to deal with the stiffness, and she could guide me through this, okay? So I was like, yeah, I got this, I can do this. Where as if the other yoga teacher came to me, and just the second I would come in the room, my hips would say, oh, no, we're not doing this. So that's how I think of it. So to me, it's not about getting the halter on. My goal is to bring out the halter, and I see that my horse will come towards me. I see that my horse is like, yeah, you can just put it on, breathing, sniffing to me, and being able to just be okay in it, all right? So that's kind of where we're at right now, Flirtation and I. And that's why I love this process, because I can really go down into detail and fix these things and really try to make him soft from the very beginning, so that I can see through the whole process, oh, where are we meeting something that is not creating softness? Where are we meeting something where I can see that he's not learning something right now, I'm just doing something to him right now? Because I want to be able to trust him when I take off the equipment, and I want to be able to know that I'm also actually building him up, and building him up in a healthy way, where I know that he's carrying his body, I'm not carrying it for him, okay? Because I can't do that. So that's where we are at right now. How I have gone about it is not by putting the halter on him. Of course, I had to do it a couple of times, and with the rope halter, it's a bit different. He's a bit different with that, because you kind of hug the horse over the neck, and then you can put it on a different way, where the normal halters, you can easily ask the horse a little bit of this thing with getting the head up. If you put it from under the nose and the horse haven't learned how to get it on, they will quite fast get it higher, the head higher. You want to put it over the ears, and you might put it in the eyes as well. So right now he's not very happy with that. So I'm training him in the rope halter, and I have been doing some things where I just walk with him, changing directions, having him following me and following the feeling of the rope. And then I turn towards him, because that's where it starts. And I go to him and I approach his nose and see what he does there. If he takes his head up, then I walk on. I turn around and I walk on. But if he's okay, if he's sniffing my hand, I will take it to the jaw and up to his and further up on his shoulder. And then I just slide my hand in a soft touch. I'm not clapping him or anything. I'm just softly touching him and then moving on. And the reason why I'm not doing this standing still is because I can see that even though I know he has some, he can have some reactive behavior, I see that he actually wants to shut down a little bit and just stand still, and he doesn't really exist there. So I want him to come back into his body. I don't want him to just stand still and take whatever I'm doing, because then he can easily just look calm. But I want the blinking, I want the breathing going on. I want him to feel like he can still feel his body, okay? So I do that throughout the whole body, on both sides, and just walk around with him. And sometimes I do a little bit more, where to test if he can still be in it, if I turn to him a little bit faster, if I go a little bit more on him and down his legs and stuff. And then I go back to just to the head, just to approach him where he feels like when I turn to him in a situation and want to put the halter on, that he's not also scared of or uncomfortable with me turning towards him. I want him to be okay with that, so he'll be okay with that with the halter as well. And I have not been asking him to go forward and backwards and these things. I've only been working on him being okay with being here, changing directions and touching him, actually, because that's where I want to start, okay? There's a lot of standing next to him, getting him soft, showing him that he can actually bend his head into me and not me catching him up here, but that he can search for me here, and there is a little space that I've made for him that's calm and nice. And having the halter here next to him, get it on him, but seeing when does his look kind of freeze, when does he stop blinking, when can I feel that his breathing changes, and then I take it away and then I walk with him again. Okay, so I have a lot of switching between standing still and walking because I don't want him to go internal. Okay, I want him to, then I would rather him showing me that, oh, this is not okay, by going away from me. But I want him to feel that he can be in his body, because that's when I think that they're most healthy. Okay, so that's where we're at. I don't know how this video will turn out, because now I'm gonna go in and do some technology things. So we will see, but I'm gonna be happy to show you how he's gonna be with the halter once I've done a little bit of work with him. Okay, so thank you for watching this video, and I will see you next time.